It's 6 Feet Under right here on your Classic Metal Show with The Night Bleeds.
That'll get the chicks, won't it?
They love that.
They love that kind of music.
I think it would be better if it said The Vag Bleeds. That would be better.
Be more realistic.
It would be. And it would be relatable.
Yeah, we would relate.
Here's a guy who understands you girls. The Vag Bleeds. Check this. Bleeds. Yeah, nice. All right, that was short and sweet.
Yeah, his phone cut out, and I was like, okay, good.
Done.
Yep, done. Good enough.
All right, good enough. All right, well, now the rest of the show is all ours, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, let's get back to that racist cartoon that I shared with you.
All right.
Were you surprised?
That is from Dr. Seuss, yes.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, very much so.
You just didn't know that about the good doctor.
No. I mean, all I can think of with him is what, Horton Hears a Who?
Yeah, exactly. Cat in the Hat.
You know, I certainly wasn't ready for, what is this? A high-grade nigger for your wood?
Right.
Good Lord. That's brutal. And the representation of the black people.
I know.
Holy cow.
I know. So wow. I'd like to know, well, I'm gonna read the story here.
Okay.
One particularly upsetting and racist Dr. Seuss cartoon is heading to auction.
All right.
Now, if I was a multimillionaire,
yes,
I'd bid on it.
Would you really?
I would. I'd buy that just to have it.
Where would you put it?
I would hang it here in the studio.
Get the fuck.
I would. I downloaded the actual cartoon. I'm going to print it out on a nice color printer on some quality paper and put a frame on it. Why
don't you take it over to Kinko's, see if they'll print it for you?
Well, Kinko's, you do it yourself.
Yeah. No, have them print it for you.
Yeah. I think it's just funny.
I do too.
I just find it funny. It's just funny to me.
It's pretty brutal though.
But if you look at the characters in the cartoon, you can definitely see the characters of like the Grinch.
Yeah, a little bit. Like the dude with the lighter suit and the hat.
Yeah.
That kind of looks like the Grinch.
Yeah, you can definitely see the influences of Dr. Seuss.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that they have to put a warning on this.
Where's there a warning?
On the article.
Where?
At the very top of the article, it says, "Warning, the image included in this post may be offensive or upsetting to readers."
Well, God forbid you should be upset.
Well, here's the thing, Chris, and I know we've talked about this before, and this goes right back to what we do on the show at times.
Sure.
Is there anything in this world that upsets you to the point to where you go, I wish I hadn't seen that?
No. The closest I've ever come was, you remember that site? I don't even know if it's still up anymore. And if it is, I will not be going to look at it. But you remember that site, ogrish.com?
Yeah. You, what was it? Tub Girl?
No, Ogrish was the one where they showed like horrific accidents.
Oh, yeah.
Where they would show like a guy that actually got hit by a train. Or
and his intestines are out all over the road and shit.
Yeah, or a guy that got his head like smashed by a car. Or
yes, I've seen that. That they also, what was the other one that used to put all that wacky stuff out there? E-Bombs World or something,
maybe
something like that.
Yeah, I mean they were brutal, and they always had like famous people's autopsy photos.
Yeah, like shit. Yeah, I know.
You know, and I mean there were definitely some where I went to it, and it's like a sick addiction, because anytime I heard, oh, they got Tupac's autopsy photo, yeah, I'm gonna go check that out.
Right.
You know, I would go to that site and I would check that shit out, but then I would look at some of the other stuff and I was like, oh, I really don't need to see this.
Right. Well, I guess I personally cannot understand or envision or imagine somebody, say, reading this article and then seeing this cartoon and sitting there getting all pissed off.
No.
But
well, I mean, it's not the Huffington Post's fault that Dr. Seuss drew this thing.
Well, true, but again, even if it wasn't in a media outlet and you just came across it, I can't imagine getting fuming mad about it.
No.
It's just like, oh, okay. but I like the fact that everybody has to be warned.
Well, now, yeah, everybody is now well aware. If I read below, I might be upset.
Oh, this is going to upset me.
It's going to be terrible.
Oh. All right. So anyway, it says, warning, the image included in this post may be offensive or upsetting
Yeah.
to readers.
Yeah, man.
It's upsetting.
I'm upset.
Yeah. Most of us know that Mr. Theodore Geisel, also known as Dr. Seuss, for his classic children's characters like Yertle the Turtle and the Cat in the Hat.
I don't remember Yertle the Turtle.
I don't even remember that either.
I've never heard of that.
I never did either.
Yertle the Turtle?
I can't say that I can place that either. I know about the Lorax and the Grinch, Cat in the Hat. Horton hears
I've never seen this ever.
Horton Hears a Who.
Yeah, I've never seen. Look. Tell me if you've ever seen this ever.
No.
I've never seen that.
I've never seen that either.
Why would you reference that of all the Dr. Seuss characters?
Yeah, that doesn't even ring a bell with me.
Yertle the Turtle.
Never heard of it.
Me either.
All right. Well, nevertheless, however, before his reign as the king of kids literature, Seuss contributed some disturbing and rather racist content to a conservative satirical magazine called Judge. Never heard of it. Judge. One particularly upsetting image. Upsetting. It's upsetting.
Very upsetting.
From this period is currently headed to auction, a hand-drawn, hand-painted illustration that dates back to 1929.
All right.
The year of the big stock market crash.
Right.
Titled Cross Section of the World's Most Prosperous Department Store.
All right.
The illustration features 3 panels which show men at the department store picking out various merchandise to make their lives more difficult. According to the auction house, Nate D. Sanders, the final panel features individuals in blackface as objects for sale. Why are you laughing?
Not funny at all.
Why are you laughing? This is a very sensitive subject.
I must have drank something, put a little tickle in my throat, made me laugh.
I'm shocked and appalled at your insensitivity to this subject.
I'm just looking at the picture.
I know it's you can't help but laugh.
Like, holy shit!
It's absolutely hysterical.
The red lips is hysterical. Too fucking funny.
I like the big monkey ears sticking out from the side of the head.
They didn't even try and draw them to even remotely look like human beings. They just drew monkeys and put them in clothes.
They basically look like sock monkeys.
And I like how all the white guys are in suits, and all the black guys are just dressed like bums.
Yeah, they're wearing like sweatshirts.
What the hell?
I know. For those unfamiliar with Dr. Seuss' supremacist tendencies,
yeah,
we regret to inform you. I bet you do.
I bet they do. That's why they're doing it.
They're regretting this. I'm sorry, but we have to report this.
Yes.
Of his heavily documented penchants. Beyond this image, the author and illustrator drew anti-Japanese cartoons during World War II. Gee, what a surprise.
Stunning.
We were at war with the Japanese, and he had anti-Japanese World War II cartoons. Are you kidding me?
You're shocking.
Yeah. Even Warner Brothers did that.
Wow.
And was want to express his prejudice views vocally.
Here's the question. And you can obviously tell that this is slanted to try and
gin up some kind of anger and get everybody all upset about this.
Yeah. Is there no credibility to these guys given to the time period that they lived in? I mean, it was normal to think that black people were barely above animals in 1920. So they're trying to put today's sensitivity
and standards
on Dr. Seuss in 1920. These guys weren't there still some slaves in the 20s?
I couldn't tell you.
Or at least in the 10s. I know there were. I know that there were in some places because I've read it somewhere. Don't ask me. I'm not trying to teach a history lesson here.
Either that or they were some kind of like sharecropper or something.
Yeah, something like that. But up until the 60s, black people were considered second-class citizens.
Well, even on The Little Rascals, which was filmed in the 30s and the 40s, they depicted the black characters in The Little Rascals as being, uneducated. And, I still remember the one where Stymie's mother, she was kind of dressed like Aunt Jemima.
Yeah.
Had the do-rag, and she worked and she was doing the laundry.
Right.
And she was calling Stymie to take the laundry up to the quote-unquote big house.
Right.
You take this laundry up to the big house. Yes, Mama. That whole thing.
My favorite one of The Little Rascals was Stymie. There was some episode where they were making a cake, and they were putting all kinds of bullshit in the cake.
Yeah, the cake was going, wee, wah,
exactly.
Wee, wah.
But there was a part in it where they were like hot from cooking and making the cake.
Yeah.
And Spanky wiped his forehead and like flicked his hand. And then Stymie did the same thing and flicked his hand, and it fucking put black spray all over.
Yeah, it was like ink spots all over the wall. He wiped his forehead and flicked his fingers, and it splashed ink spots all over the wall.
Like because he was black, he was sweating ink.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So brutally racist.
Well, how about when they were pretending they had chicken pox? All the kids had black spots all over their face, and he had white spots all over his
white
face.
Spots. But it's just funny. It was funny then, and it's not. Just because people's sensitivities have changed now doesn't change where they were then, and everybody forgets that.
Yeah,
Didn't Bill Cosby buy up all the Little Rascals?
No, he wanted to buy them.
Never be seen again or something?
Yeah, he wanted to buy them and put them away, but he couldn't make the deal because Spanky McFarlane's estate owned the rights to all of them.
And he said, fuck you.
I got the entire Little Rascals, the entire collection, unedited.
But it's on VHS, right?
Yes.
We got to get that converted.
I have it.
You know what? I'm gonna do some research and find, because I would love to have all that stuff, especially the Wild Man from Borneo.
Absolutely.
That's the best one ever. I like that. You know which? I know we're getting into every stupid topic, but you know which one I always liked of the Little Rascals, and it was not one of the more popular ones. Do you remember when I think Alfalfa fell asleep and they were having a dream? And they dreamed that there was like a giant.
Yeah. And
that is one of my favorites.
And Spanky was Buckwheat and Porky were in the water bucket.
Right.
And the big giant came in through the door, and he put the water bucket under the it was like almost like a spring.
Yeah.
And started filling the bucket, and the big giant came out, and he was going,
yeah. That's a good episode.
So they were in there trying to take his gold.
Right. I remember. That's what it was. They were trying, they came across his gold somehow, and then the giant trapped him somehow or something.
Exactly. They were trying to get the giant's gold.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Yep, there you go.
I love Little Rascals.
I did too, man. Like I said, I got the entire series unedited.
I have to get a copy of that because that's quality shit there.
So good.
A lot of people lean toward like Three Stooges as like their all-timer.
Well, I have the entire Three Stooges collection as well.
All right, which one? You get to keep one. Three Stooges or Little Rascals?
I would have to stay with the Stooges.
Really?
I love the Rascals and I love the Stooges pretty much equally, but I take more influences from the Stooges.
Yeah, maybe I should watch some more Three Stooges. I mean, I thought they were funny, but I never really watched them a whole bunch. You know, and Little Rascals I watched endlessly. You know, back when I was a kid on Channel 43.
Yeah, in the afternoon they'd show a whole hour of Little Rascals. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch that every single day. Same episodes over and over and over. Didn't care. Loved it.
Yep, I agree.
Good stuff.
Sure. Well, let's get back to the article here. Later in life, Dr. Seuss attempted to remedy his warped perspective.
Yeah, right.
Creating a slew of anti-racist cartoons in the late 1940s and beyond.
Wouldn't anti-racist be not racist?
Correct.
Okay.
He was trying to go to the other side now, you know. He's trying to prove himself not to be a racist.
So basically he started selling some children's books and figured, hey, this is going to hurt.
Yeah. So he more or less figured out the error of his ways and changed his tune.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm sure he meant it.
His 1954 book, Horton Hears a Who, dedicated to my great friend Mitsagi Nakamura of Kyoto, Japan.
Oh, she's a great friend.
Is often thought to be an apology for Seuss's racist past. Racist. Of course, he also went on to write The Lorax, a largely pro-environmental allegory that reflected his eventual anti-Nixon liberal Democrat politics.
Jesus.
This guy's all over the map.
All over the map. Why couldn't he just fucking write children's books?
Yeah, well, he wasn't there yet.
I guess.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Dr. Seuss also coined the term nerd.
Really?
Yes.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Filmmaker Ron Lamoth, the man behind the political Dr. Seuss, expressed in an interview that biographers deemed Seuss regretful about some of his cartoons from the early period. Nonetheless, it's certainly disheartening and disturbing. Two words that always end up in the media these days.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
You always see that a lot. Shocked. Right. I was shocked.
Yeah.
Really? Were you shocked?
Yeah, were you really?
And disturbing.
Yeah. Anytime, if you can be disturbed by a picture, you're a fucking boob.
That's my point.
Yep.
Everything is shocking and disturbing these days.
Sure it is.
We're so weak.
Yep.
To see this bigoted side of a cultural hero.
Why?
Shocking.
Disturbing. Why is it that if you don't share everybody else's ideas or ideals, that makes your talent less? You know, why is Dr. Seuss, if Dr. Seuss was a clan grand dragon, why would his books be any less good?
Well, because it came from somebody who did not share the popular cultural viewpoint on whatever that viewpoint.
But he didn't write it in the books.
True.
You know, I mean, I don't care if it came out now. Yeah, I mean, we'll stick with Dr. Seuss. I mean, obviously we have this kind of stuff, but we also have stuff with Dr. Seuss where he's you know, let's just say for the sake of argument that it come out that Dr. Seuss really was a serial killer as well. Okay? And he killed 42 women. Okay? Does that change green eggs and ham, really? I mean, does it?
No, but I think what it is that it's supporting somebody who has displayed aberrant behavior or actions, I think.
But as opposed to what the real case is, which is anytime you support anybody, unless you know them personally, you don't fucking know what they're doing.
True.
You know, like O.J. Simpson. For years, that was like the thing, was to support the juice. You know, everybody was supporting the juice. They were buying fucking luggage because he said to, and, you know, they were going to see the Naked Gun movies partly because he was in them and whatnot. And those movies don't suck now just because O.J. killed his wife. They're still funny, and he's still funny in them.
Right.
I don't understand why people feel the need to associate themselves with a little piece of knowledge instead of understanding that everybody has a fucking ugly side of themselves. Everybody does. Dr. Seuss, probably the chick that wrote the Harry Potter movies. I mean, do you think that chick has not ever, you know, been banged by two dudes or something? I mean, honestly, she writes children's books. Do you think that she's not ever said here, fuck me in the ass to some guy?
Right.
I mean, do you think that that's not happened?
Well, if she did it behind closed doors and that was a private matter, I don't think that would be such a big deal. But if she came out publicly and said something like, I'm totally for sadomasochism, and I think that women should be objectified and be sex slaves,
then it would be okay to hate her books.
Not hate her books, but not be supportive of her product.
Oh, I don't know. This is why I guess it all comes down to this country as a whole is idolistic, where everybody wants to idolize everybody else.
Well, that is true. Everybody's always looking for someone or something to look up to. I mean, and I'm going to use even us as an example on a very small scale.
Right.
How many people do you know who listen to the show every week think that you and I are the shit? I mean, and I know there's a few out there.
Sure.
Not that I'm thinking that they should think that way, but I just know that that's the case.
Right. Yeah, I know. I just don't maybe it's just because I don't do it. You know, I've never been starstruck. I've never put value in people, I guess. You know, in like celebrity.
Well, let me make this personal for you.
Okay.
I know for a fact, because you told this story on the show, that one of your earliest encounters with a celebrity or somebody that had an influence on you as a younger person, Dee Snider, Twisted Sister.
Sure.
You got to meet him. He ran out of merch or something, and he sent you a whole box of merch.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it was very cool. Well, if it was discovered that Dee Snider was a pedophile,
yeah,
how would your viewpoint of Dee Snider be influenced, if any?
I don't think it would be.
No, so you would still listen to Twisted Sister and not even think about it?
Absolutely.
You never would think about it.
Wouldn't care because he didn't do it to me. Well, and because I look, I'm not supporting the fact that he would rape kids, but at the same time, he didn't rape me, so I don't give a shit. My point is, so your point, I'm curious. Your point would be, like, personally, the album Under the Blade is my favorite Twisted Sister album.
Okay.
What's your favorite Twisted Sister album? Stay Hungry?
Probably. That's probably one of the better ones. It's got the, Burn in Hell, Captain Howdy.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of good ones. Okay,
so
so now it just came out this minute that Dee's been raping kids since the 70s.
Okay.
Okay? You're going to tell me you're not going to listen to Stay Hungry anymore?
I would be disappointed I think. that it's just like, wow, how could the guy who was part of something this brilliant be this way? But the thing is, I think it would put a taint on it for me. I wouldn't say, man, this record sucks now.
Yeah.
It's just, I think in my mind, I would have to reflect on saying, why, D? Why'd you do this?
I mean, I've never once pulled out my old Judas Priest records and said, you know what? This guy's been fucking some kids, so I can't listen to this because of the drumming.
Right.
I've never done that ever.
Well, I got to be honest. I agree with that point, but can you at least admit that there would be a certain amount of disappointment for you?
Oh, there'd be disappointment, but I don't think it would influence. My point is that I'm so not a star fucker that I don't care. I honestly, it's like, I totally different topic as far, or same topic, but different medium, I guess. I got into it this week with our good friend Stephanie about football, and she posted out on Facebook something to the effect of, even though Johnny Manziel's a douche, he's our guy, so we need to support him.
No, I disagree with that.
And I was like, no, he's a douche.
Yeah.
So I don't need to support him. I've never supported him because he's always been a douche.
Yeah, see, I never, and I'm a big Steelers fan, you know that.
Sure.
But if I wouldn't go, he's our guy.
Yeah.
No, it's just he's a player on a team that I like.
Mm-hmm.
He's not our guy. I have no ownership in anything that they do. It's just I happen to be a fan of whatever the team might be.
Right.
But
I think for me, I look at music very much the same way as I look at sports teams. I don't root for individual players on sports teams. I just don't do it.
Right.
I root for the uniform. I don't give a fuck who's wearing it. I'm an Indians fan. I'm a Browns fan. I'm a Cavs fan. I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm not a fucking Joe Hayden fan. I'm not a Jason Kipnis fan. That's just not. I root because the players change in and out. I think I'm probably the same way with music. With music, I'm a Twisted Sister fan. If JJ French goes out and rapes 30 grandmothers this weekend, I'm still going to be a Twisted Sister fan. I just won't be a fan of what JJ does when he's not in Twisted Sister.
Nice.
I mean, honestly.
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Oh, hell, you got me weighing in on this now.
All right. Well, that's fine. That's why the phones are open. Go right ahead.
This is Sal from the chat room. Even in your examples, you're talking about, like, folks that did something, and I don't even know that he can be called a racist when in 1929, nigger in a woodpile was a very common saying.
Well, again, it's what Chris said. They're applying today's standards to the standards of yesteryear.
And that is just bullshit that they're doing that because it's not fair. It's like fag. That's in the 80s. We said it all the time, you're a faggot. And now all of a sudden it is a term that people tell you not to use. So if I was using it like crazy in the 80s, which I did, are you going to punish me in 2015 for what I did in the 80s? I don't think that's fair.
Well, it's the sins of the past, my friend. And just the fact that you're on the show admitting that you use fag liberally in the 80s, I hate you for that. I hate you.
Hey, I love that you guys are talking so much tonight. I am one of your fans that loves when you two talk it up. So.
Yeah, because we're the smartest sons of bitches in the room, and you should be listening to us.
Yeah, and the best-looking guys in the world, right?
Wow, are you a fag?
Wow. You fag.
See, I fed him, and he bit right on it. Kill, take care.
All right, there goes our number one fan.
Yeah, the faggot.
Yeah.
You know what? As far as what he said too about fag and faggot and words and whatever, you know what? If you give into that, then it's on you.
Yeah.
I still use fag all the time. I do use it all the time on the show.
I don't give two shits. I have not curtailed my language. Not that I've used a lot of derogatory language a lot in my life, but there has been times, and even on the show, and that nothing in the PC world will curtail that for me. I don't even sit there and think, well, what do people think of me if I say that? I don't even give it I don't give it a thought.
I don't either. I don't care. You know what? I'm going to say faggot. I'm going to say nigger. I'm going to say whatever fucking word I want to say. And I'm not going to give these fucking PC douchebags any sort of empowerment that they're right. Fuck them. They're wrong. They don't get to tell me what I get to. They don't get to tell me what I think, what I say, what I do. Fuck them. Period.
I agree. Well, getting back to finishing this quick article here.
That wasn't so quick.
Well, but it opened up a whole topic for us,
sure,
which I appreciate. Seuss illustration is on sale online at Nate D. Sanders Fine Autographs and Memorabilia with a minimum bid of $20,000.
Wow, 20 G's.
That's a minimum bid of $20,000.
So it's going to sell for $100K,
if not more.
Yeah. Wow.
If not more.
Don't you wish you had some racist shit in your basement or your cellar?
Well, I sort of do have what people would perceive as a racist thing.
Yeah.
I've got that porch monkey right here in the CMS studio.
Well, couldn't you sign a name to it of a famous racist like Thomas Jefferson or something?
Now, do you think Thomas Jefferson was a racist?
Wasn't he?
I don't think so.
I mean, he had slaves and was fucking them.
Yeah, but so did George Washington.
Yeah, well, I think. I guess by today's standard, he'd be a racist.
Yeah, but was it a racist by, the 1600 standards?
No, of course not. I don't think it was the 1600s either. I think they were presidents in the 18s and the 19s.
The 1700s.
Was it
1700s? 1776, yeah.
Yes, okay, yeah.
So was that racist then, or was that just how it was?
Yeah.
And that's not making an excuse. That's just how it was.
How did racism even start? Do we know? I mean, is there some record somewhere of some, I don't know, probably some Spanish guy seeing a black dude and shooting him in the face or something? I mean, it's got to be Spanish guys. They were the ones that were the travelers, right? The ones that got on their boats.
Well, perhaps, but I think that if you want to go back to putting the term racism on anything, if you're if you have any belief in the biblical Bible, the Bible or any kind of biblical times, I think racism may have started during the Tower of Babel.
Why do you think that?
Well, because people were worshiping the Tower of Babel, and if you believe the Bible the way it's written, that's how all the different cultures started. Was that according to the Bible, God made everybody start speaking different languages and different tongues and this and that, and they spread to different parts of the earth.
And that's why they were babbling on and on.
Yeah,
right?
basically babbling on and on.
Okay, I see where you're going with that, but is there part of the story? Maybe I missed part of the story. I don't remember part of the story where when the various cultures came together, that people are like, hey, you can't fucking be here. You're not speaking my language.
Well, I think what it is that, hey, you're different from me. I don't like you.
But they did accept them all.
Did they?
I thought so.
No, they spread out. They scattered.
But not out of persecution.
No, not out of persecution, but
they chose their own cliques.
That is true.
I'm saying, when was the first time that a Spanish guy saw an Indian and shot him, or a black dude was seen by? So
you're basically saying when did the first hate crimes?
Yeah, when was the first racist act?
Hate crime.
Yeah, I guess.
You're going with a crime here. Racism can be defined as,
I'm not saying crime. I'm just saying, when did it start? When somebody somewhere at some point in time said, hey, your skin different than mine. Get the fuck away from me.
Right.
Someone did that at some point. I'm just curious who it was. If it was the Spanish in the 1400s, or if it goes all the way back to like the Egyptians in 20 BC or whatever.
Well, that is an interesting point.
Well, because like the Egyptians had slaves, but I don't know, how did they judge who was to be a slave versus who wasn't?
Well, perhaps it was the affluent as opposed to the not affluent.
Yeah, I guess.
Whoever could be dominated.
Yeah, that I believe. Can you imagine having to haul those big-ass fucking stones on your back? Fuck that. Don't you just act up and be killed?
Just kill me already.
If every single day you and 600 of your buddies had to fucking lift these 10,000-pound fucking bricks and build a pyramid, wouldn't you just start acting up and just let them kill you?
Well, I guess it just goes back to the survival of the species. I mean, I think it's just the will to survive, regardless of the environment or your surroundings or your circumstances.
Yeah. Probably just like, hey, this is the way it is. We lift bricks.
Well, you were born into it.
Yeah.
Born into this.
Daddy did it. Mama did it. Now I'm going to do it.
This is just the way of life. This is just how it is.
Man, oh man, what a suck life.
I mean, if you went from a totally different lifestyle and were forced into something totally foreign to you or different, yeah, I could kind of understand that. But if you're born into it and you just accept it from the very early on,
can you imagine? Those guys probably lived to be like 30 years old, and like I know I've seen History Channel specials where they just found hundreds and hundreds of skeletons of these guys, all with fucked up broken backs. There is. I saw it on the History Channel that they found like these mass graves for the slaves that were building like the Sphinx and the pyramids and shit.
Right.
And all of them had these fucked up curved backs from lifting all this heavy shit for their whole life.
Right.
Can you imagine that was all of your life? Just lifting fucking bricks until you died?
Right.
That would suck.
Yeah, but the thing is you know a different life than that.
Yeah.
So you have something to compare, but if that's what you're born into and that's what you're born to be, or be you're born to be a slave.
I mean, do you take pride in it? Hey,
I don't know. I think you just accept it that, well, this is life. This is what I'm born into.
I'm gonna lift this brick and I'm gonna get a piece of bread at the end of the day.
Right.
Jesus. Wow. I'm glad we lived in this time.
Sure.
You know, for people that always say they want to live at an earlier time or whatever, don't go too much earlier. I can't even imagine. Can you imagine the fucking Crusades? You're sitting around minding your own business, just trying to drink a little wine and eat a little fucking rice or whatever bullshit you could fucking feed yourself and your family with. All of a sudden, these guys just come and start slicing up your family.
Right.
Saying that's in the name of God. Holy shit. That would fucking suck. And then if they don't kill you, if they let you live, then this fucking plague comes from out of nowhere where there's no medicine and you just fucking rot away and die.
Sure.
What a fucking jewel of a time that was, huh?
Yeah, fantastic.
Oof, can you imagine? Bunch of people and no way to clean it, so the people are just laying in the street. Can you imagine the smell of the streets?
Wow, your mind is just running all over the place today.
I can't even imagine. You got dead kids in the street. The people are right before, they got the plague, so it's not like they're going to a bathroom anywhere. They're just laying on the ground, shitting themselves, pissing themselves, and then dying.
Right.
Right there in the street. Hundreds and thousands of them. What a stink fest that must have been.
And then Monty Python comes rolling by saying, "Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead."
Oh, man. What a time that must have been. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Well, I think that deserves a song.
All right. What do you want to hear?
Corrosion of Conformity, Clean My Wounds.
Perfect.
All right. We're going to play a couple songs. We'll be right back. Here's Corrosion of Conformity for Chris, Clean My Wounds, so it doesn't stink up the joint.
That's right.
Exclusively here
on your classic metal show.